Auto Parts. They offer free battery starter and alternator testing and a free battery installation with purchase. Advance Auto Part. Get your car back on the road. So, over the course of the weekend, I go on the line and I read Sports Illustrated and Fox and, any network, CBS Sports, and all the draft grades. And a lot of people were critical of the Dallas Cowboys. And they were like, hey, Dez Bryant's gone. Dez Bryant's no longer here. You got to go out and replace Dez Bryant. You do get that the 1,300-yard, 11-touchdown per season model has been discontinued. Dez Bryant's not that hard to replace. The Cowboys went and got 3 receivers. They added a top college receiver in the 3rd round. They added a fast veteran slot gadget guy in Tavon Austin from the Rams. And then they went and got a really big veteran possession guy, 6'3" Allen Hurns. They're all good. By the way, in the last 19 years, there have been two elite pass receiving corps that have won Super Bowls. The Colts with Peyton Manning and the St. Louis Rams. They've since moved. Receivers are not winning Super Bowls. Quarterbacks, O-lines, protection. Here's my Cowboy checklist after the draft. Quarterback, check. O-line, check. D-line pass rushers, check. Running game, check. Athleticism in 2018 at linebackers, huge. Check, check. They're all good here. I don't know where people replace Dez. What does that mean? He's not a foundational player. This one I just don't get. Pregame.com, over-unders, Las Vegas company, has Dallas at 9. 9 is fighting for the playoffs. Okay, they've got Dallas at 9. Dallas is good. They got a bunch of good players. Vegas has a few teams at 10, like the Rams who won 13 games and the Patriots and the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, and then Dallas is in that next group of really good teams at 9. Their checklist, it's all good. They address receiver. They're good enough there. Let me say this about another team, the Indianapolis Colts. So the Indianapolis Colts were another team that got some criticism. How could Chris Ballard not address the defense? Okay. Here's one of the grades. Oh, USA Today, C-. You have got to go after defense. Let me ask you a question. Once you buy a home, what's next? Is it landscaping? Do you redo the bathrooms? No, the banks actually, and the mortgage companies actually, and the title company, they won't let you close on the home unless you have insurance. You can't buy a home without it. You can buy a home with a bad kitchen and crappy bathrooms. Listen, the Colts doubled down on their O-line, and they should have. Here's what we know about the NFL draft. Players in the NFL last 3.5 years, but first and second round players last well over 5. Your first couple of rounds, that's where you get your bedrock players, and they went with 2 great offensive linemen. And they won't have to draft another offensive lineman now for several years. That's what you do in this league. There's 3 ways to win. Get a quarterback, protect a quarterback, and draft guys who get their quarterback. Let's say the Colts would have gone out, and they would have loaded up in the first round with defensive players. And second round, defensive players. Third round, defensive players. And Andrew Luck gets hurt again. Chris Ballard, the GM, is sending out his resume. And you now have to start over at quarterback. The Colts did exactly what you do in this league. And you do it in this order. Draft a quarterback and then protect him. He's your insurance to the house. Defense, first couple of years, you may lose some shootouts. But what you can't lose is your quarterback. This is not a difficult league to figure out. By the way, New England, what did they draft? Did they get Tom Brady's replacement? Oh no, they made a trade for an offensive lineman, and they drafted another offensive lineman. By the way, the Patriots could have used a corner with their first pick. They really need a new corner. They needed linebackers. We watched New England last year, right? They're not very athletic at linebacker. What did Belichick do in the deepest offensive line class I can ever remember? Seriously. How many offensive linemen went in the first round, John? Was it 6? I mean, there were like multiple centers. It was the deepest offensive line class ever, and Indianapolis did what New England did. Okay, we got our quarterback. Let's make sure we protect our quarterback. It's not hard to figure out. You can talk about defense all you want, but Andrew Luck didn't play last year. And you can have 7 straight defensive picks and keep the score down. But if he's hurt, Chris Ballard has about a year left, and he's out of work. 6 offensive linemen, thank you, John, went in the first round. It was a wildly deep class at a position that is now, outside of quarterback, if you look at what GMs are doing, is the most valuable unit on the field. The league has become so quarterback-centric. It used to be get a quarterback, get defensive lines. But now the quarterback is so valuable, offensive line is more important than defensive line because it's protecting. It's your insurance on the house. All right, Pack today, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. Boy, did we have a bunch of both. And this is one of my favorite days of the year. Steven Jackson, Greg Jennings both stopped by today. Packed for the entire week of guests on NFL and NBA. By the way, car shopping's confusing. A lot of crazy terms. List price, dealer price, invoice. Here's what's not confusing. Save $3,000 off MSRP. New or used, it's a more confident car buying experience.
We've got 24 hours to turn this